Get stuck in. Welcome on, welcome all. Q&A, Monday morning, best time to be alive, especially when you love what you do, like us lot here. With that being said, we've got a little handful of guys here for another Q&A webinar. First and foremost, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to comment at any time, any questions that you have. There's going to be some really good topics talked about today. Non-business related, first and foremost. But also remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Updates, we hired 2 coaches last week. Tarkin and Nathan are now on the coaching team, which is exciting. We're going to be welcoming those guys into the coaching team as coaches with a post on school at some point. So that's that. In terms of new content, we uploaded, just for you guys to make note of, the text message sequence script for the floor to the floor is now there. I think, did you access that already, Samir? Yeah, you found that one in there. Yeah, cool. So that's been done. That's pretty much it for content. And we launched a soundbite series last week. Guys, if you don't mind, actually, if you're here now, jump onto Facebook, head to my profile, just drop a little like on it. We want to try and crank the algorithms up with this soundbite series. It's also good as well, like for our algorithms as well, so I can see your content that you're posting, because I want to be able to support you on socials as much as possible. Tarkin is going to be taking the social media and online webinar on Thursdays. He's going to take that. It's his passion. His social media is very good as well. So yeah, feel free to jump across there, drop a like on it as well, guys, so I can see more of your content. So that's the main thing. And obviously it boosts our algorithms and exposure as well there. With that being said though, guys, that's pretty much it for updates. Now, we have got a really juicy topic to talk about: clients lying to you, right? Which is non-business related, but we're going to dive into that. But I want to go to Kate first and get your question out the way, Kate. So let's kickstart this week, Kate. Kate, how are you? You have a good weekend? Can't hear you. You're on mute. There we go.
Hi, morning.
There we go.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. How was your weekend?
My weekend was amazing. I chilled out. I played some PlayStation. My wife had some time to herself on Friday night. I had an early night. Then I stayed up and played PlayStation on Saturday night. And I went fishing yesterday on a friend's new boat.
Oh, nice.
I'm excited.
Nice.
It was good.
So I had this client.
Yes.
I signed her up last week. So we did 1 week together.
Yeah.
And when was it? I think Thursday or Friday night, I can't remember. She sent me a text message if like the first session we do a week, we have like 3 to 5 minutes, just a quick check-in to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I do that with everyone. I was doing that back with Phil, and I keep doing that because it usually was fine. Mm-hmm. So she messaged me if that talking at the beginning, if this part of the 30-minute session. Okay. And I said, yeah, it usually is.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm trying to keep it short because she wants to train. And has had a lot of talking we can also during the training, for example, during the rest periods or something. And she was like, and when we had the onboarding session, I told her exactly how it is. So I told her that's why I want you to fill in the form for the check-in, so I can have a look actually before that and get a little head start, so I know what's going on, and I know how to structure our training and our coaching. So, and she said, oh, I must have misunderstood that, and she wants to cancel. So I should probably and I probably should mention she's actually training for a half marathon.
Okay.
And she wants to concentrate on running. And obviously for this kind of goal, your cardio training is the focus. But I explained to her that even runners, they do resistance training to strengthen their leg muscles. 100%. So last week she got really, really sore. We actually didn't do that much, but she never did any resistance training in her life. So last week we did like 2 or 3 leg exercises, like body weight and very lightweight dumbbells. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't walk. She messaged me she's frustrated that she couldn't run because she couldn't walk because she was so sore. I said, look, that's normal. Yeah. I know I can understand the frustration, but give it some time.
Yeah.
And then she sent me that message, and he said, oh, she wants to cancel. She understands the notice of 2 weeks. But after that, she wants to go on only run. And then I said, okay, that's fine. Just let's talk on Tuesday. That's all I said.
Okay. So first and foremost, let's address two things. So the start of the sessions. Now, the start of the sessions, guys, it's really important that you're not just physically training people. A lot of people expect that personal trainers are physical trainers. They're not. It's actually in the word, right? And here at Pinnacle, we always say the best PT is made up of three elements. It's being physical, right? So rep counting or not rep counting, but putting people through their physical exercise. But then it's personal, which is in the name, and then psychological mindset, right? So that's that. Highlight it. So always highlight to people what they're walking into with you as a coach, because if you don't, good to see you, Harry. Hopefully you're well, bro. If you don't, and when they receive something that they're not expecting, they'll go, this isn't what I thought I was going to receive, and therefore I don't want this, right? So that's that. As for the leg sessions as well, and for the DOMs, so again, like highlight it to her. What I would be highlighting as well is like, look, you're probably going to feel this, so that when she feels it, Coach Kate has said she's going to feel it, which means that then she will expect it. When it happens, she'll go, this is natural. She hasn't, and what she's thought is, I just need to run. I just need to run. I always say this, like, there's a reason why athletes have coaches, right? And there's a reason why Ronaldo has multiple, and Tiger Woods has coaches, and the best Rafael Nadal, the best tennis player, like, you know what I mean? They'll have coaches. The reason why is because they're constantly improving their game in multiple areas. She is basically you could call it a one-man band or a one-man orchestra at this point, and she misses the drums, the bass player, and the violin or whatever, then she's not going to be able to play the whole choir, right? You know what I mean? So, like, it's that simple. I think you've got to be able to communicate this with them. Communicate. This is a first learning. We say this about lots of stuff. There are so many learnings in your business that you are going to go through, guys, like that I can't create content for. This is one of them that, like, but I can tell you for experience and having clients go through it, why it's happening and why or how to handle it. That's why being here on these webinars is informative. So look, what I would say to her is this. I think that what we potentially need to do here is get yourself back on the same level thinking as myself and say, I'm more than happy. If you want to cancel in 2 weeks, it's more than happy. I'm more than happy to do it, because again, it's a learning curve and it is what it is. But then from there, just going to say, look, if you're sore, right, after one small, tiny leg session, right, it shows there's a hell of a lot of improvement to be made, which means that we can obviously continue to do this. You will not have that pain again. It's a part of being or becoming better. And then from there, you're going to strengthen. You will find your running speeds will improve when you train your legs, right? Highlight the benefits. Just say, as for the check-ins and as for the start of the session, like, my time is my time. We're paying for my time. However, for now and for the next few weeks, if you want to continue and get this back on track here, just after you highlight, that's why you're feeling that way. This is why I do things this way. This is why this is. So she goes, okay, tick, tick, tick. It aligns with her mentally. Say, I'm happy to give you 45-minute sessions for the next month to get us back on track. You've got some time, right? So give her the fit and just say, look, I'm happy to train you longer, but quitting isn't going to get us anywhere, especially when you do one small leg session and it shows how sore you are. Yes, I know you're going to be frustrated, but probably I should have told you, expect a bit of pain. But I didn't think for you to be that sore after such a small session. That shows how much work you have to do, right? And at the moment, you're not going to think, this is exactly how you put it to her. You're not going to think that training your legs is going to be beneficial. You're going to think and associate training your legs with pain, which is why she wants to quit. And she wants to just run and focus just on running. Sorry, there's a hell of a lot of work that goes into getting quicker. Like whether she has to lose weight. I mean, obviously weight loss is massive, but then obviously
weight loss is part of it. She has a few pounds to lose, yeah.
If she's got weight to lose, she needs to train strength training. She needs to do that. She's not going to become Arnold Schwarzenegger overnight. So many people think that that's the case, right? So highlight that out as well. It's like part of becoming a great coach, guys, is communication, right? Communicating, right, is like it's at the forefront of everything. Like if you can't communicate as a coach, you'll lose clients. If you can't pre-frame and communicate what people are going to walk into working with you, right? Before they actually walk into it, they're going to think that you're shit and that you're doing stuff that's making them think, oh, sorry, you're doing stuff that's painful for them that they shouldn't be experiencing when pain is a part of growth, right? Do you know what I mean? So being a good communicator is everything. It's something that I personally pride myself on. My communication is flawless. It's second to none. Like I never have pending messages for more than 24 hours. I communicate everything to anyone about everything all of the time. I'll document stuff in written form in emails. There are some people, and I work with people on my team that are useless with communication. Like I've never seen them write an email in their life. Like, do you know what I mean? So communication will make sure that she'll go, okay, I'm gonna get extra sessions. This was meant to happen. It's the beginning of growth. Let's give this a little bit more of a shot, right? So hopefully that helps. Harrison, you got something to add to there, bro?
To add as well. I've got 7 of my clients seeing my physio.
Mhm.
Um, and I get them in, and I had a client very similar. Like we hit a leg session, and she was like, "I've been sore for like 4 days," and I was kind of like, "That's the body responding to new stimulus, and it's completely normal. Like, I'm glad that you feel that pain. I
Yeah.
want you to experience it and go through it, and realize that this is what we're going to be working on." And we realized that she had really tight hip flexors, so went to the physio, got her better, and she's smashing leg workouts now, and she kind of has more trust in me as a coach as well. So
Um,
I'm kind of finding that sending clients to my physio and working with the physio builds trust with my clients as well because they're getting good results from my physio. Does that make sense?
100%. Like, bro, 100%. That's also something that's great as well. If you can get people to invest in other services as well, it's going to help them. It's massive. But see how Harrison handled that. It's like, I'm glad, like your body's adapting to the new stimulus, right? To new output, to 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 strain and stress on the muscle, right? So it's natural to do that. And it's natural for you to feel it. Harrison goes, I'm glad you're feeling that, right? That's what you've got to do, right? This is all part and parcel of just that
Yeah.
leveling up as a coach. Like most people don't, and it's so natural for someone to have an experience like you've had there, Kate. And obviously coming here and addressing it, you get the answer. But it's all part and parcel of becoming a coach, a teacher, because that's what we all are, guys. We're teachers. We're literally glorified teachers that teach people fitness. Um, and yeah, there's a lot there for a lot of people in the classroom who have questions that they want the teacher to answer. If you don't provide them the answers, and if it doesn't make sense to them, they'll go, I don't like this teacher. And no one survives or gets good grades from classes that they hate the teachers in, right? And it's that simple. So yeah, thanks for that, H. How's everything with you, bro, as well? Good? Still flying,
Yeah.
nothing?
Yeah, good. I've been focusing more on my own clients. So I've got a few more people doing 2 sessions a week now. But like all my clients send me text messages and stuff. Like I have Pop Tarts before I train. And like one of my clients sent me photos of Pop Tarts over the weekend. Like I've got like a real close relationship with everyone. Another one of my clients got me like pharmaceutical grade magnesium,
Yeah.
like just for free. He works in a chemist, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I think I've been focusing more on building rapport with my own clients rather than trying to outreach to new clients.
Yeah.
And it's kind of paying off now because they're like, we have like a tight bond. Like I have a tight bond with everyone. Like we
Yeah.
joke around and we're kind of like close. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I think obviously like you go from start to like pretty good level, sort of like 3/4 full before we see like a ceiling starting to hit, or around 3/4 of the income status, right? So you're 3/4 of the way to 6 figures. From there, like what happens, and like a lot, especially for people that grow quite quickly, right? And your growth was relatively quick. Remember before New Year's, I was like, bro, it's just the shackles. I just want to take the shackles off, right? The shackles come off now, and then boom, it's there, right? So basically, for people that grow quickly, it's always good to just be part of the business and just go into the business then and like, okay, I've got like 15 to 20 clients now or whatever it is. Like I'm doing good session. Let's just be a PT now. Let's just actually see like what it's about. Because most people never get that far. Like, and it sounds horrible, but it's true. Like a large percentage of people don't get that far. So yeah, you then go and be part of like being on the tools, get to know the guys, From there, we start to build systems out. So we'll build some systems out for the back end, which will help with scale. Because otherwise, if you're receiving 20 messages of Pop-Tarts, it gets, number one, boring to receive Pop-Tarts and it makes you hungry as well, right? Makes you hungry. But look, like it gets boring, but also it's not sustainable, it's not scalable. So we build out the systems, and then from there, pretty much like we go and scale, bro. Like we go and chase more growth. One thing I would say there is always be aware, brother, of new volume coming up the back end, right? You've always got to have your finger on the pulse. Something that like Savannah as well. I'm looking forward to obviously having you back. Hopefully you had a great holiday as well, darling. Hopefully that was good. Like you guys in EMFs, right? Making sure that that new foot traffic that's in front of you is of paramount importance to you all of the time. Like I cannot say it enough, guys. And for anyone who watches this, if you have new foot traffic coming through a club in abundance, your number one goal should be to capitalize on that. You just won't even need much more marketing. And as long as you've got the business systems, you've got the structures, the pricing, the packaging, all the paperwork, all of the sales training, or you need to have everything else, you will grow to a pretty good level before you'll need additional marketing. So let us know when you need some more marketing, bro. How many consults have you got this week?
I haven't got too many consults, but I've got a client joining up, not this week, but next week. And then I'm gonna start calls today. So I'm gonna start back on the calls. I just spent last week, honestly, just because I got a few new clients through, just getting to like know them, I guess, and having like a bit of a chill week. But it's good. I've been enjoying it. So
it's good, bro. It's good. You'll find that when you stabilize with that new volume that you've hit, right? Like Samir as well, you had a good little influx at the start of the year as well. Like you get used to that like sort of new volume, and then new people come in, get used to coaching these people, and then like Cassie, you had a massive influx as well. Like from there, it's like sweet. I level out. I can now deal with this now. I've been there, done it, and got the t-shirt. This is now old news. Let's go chase some new news again. Do you know what I mean? And then you hit the calls again, you chase the next volume. So yeah, it's always like step-by-step growth and making sure you handle it every step of the way. So that's that. Okay, if anyone's got questions, again, just raise your hand. But we're going to get stuck into a little topic here now about clients lying to you. Now, Cass, can you just come off mute and just bring people up to speed? And I'm not saying that this is 100% what's happening here, but we're going to delve down into a bit of a nutrition rabbit hole. And Cass, bring us up to speed with a situation that you've had pan out.
Okay, so I had a client jump on board 12 weeks ago now. And before coming on with me, she literally just started herself. She never tried, but she said like roughly maybe like 800,000 calories a day. Like she has an office job, so and she's never exercised really in her life. So she's about 104 kilos, and she's my age. She's 27.
Did you say she was doing 800 to 1,000 calories?
Yeah.
Wow.
Roughly,
okay.
like I don't know. That was her guesstimate. I obviously didn't know what she was eating beforehand. She never tracked or anything like that. So I brought her in for the first 4 weeks. I put her straight up to 1,800 calories to try and reset her metabolism. Did a 4 week check-in, so measurements, weigh-in, photos, no difference, so no change. She tracked her calories religiously, like I check on MyFitnessPal. Everything looks great. She sent me photos of her meal prep, everything like that. She's introduced 5 gym sessions and 10,000 steps a day. Like, and I see her in here working her fucking ass off. She trained with me twice a week. And I see her step count. So everything, like, I 100% believe it. Then what I did, I dropped it down to 1,600 calories for the next 4 weeks. Same thing, did a check-in, still no drops, so no change in anything. So I was like, all right. So I dropped it down to 1,450 calories. And again, we just had a check-in the other day, still nothing. She, for the last 4 weeks, she's eating literally the exact same thing every single day. I put it, like I said, her out of meal plan, that hits her macros and calories to a T. And she's been consistent with everything. Like I can't see a flaw in anything she does. Her tracking looks 100% correct. And yeah, I don't know what to do from here because I don't want to drop the calories any lower. And I've also given her a refeed day, so extra 100 grams of carbs, still nothing.
Yeah, okay. So this is a good one. And there's some good people here. I'd say Nate, definitely Harrison as well. I know Kate loves the nutritional side of stuff. Like, so there's some good people here to answer. So for me, this is my input first, and then we'll ask these guys, right? There's two or three things, mainly two, that are common that happen with people that say they're doing everything to a T, and this is nutritionally with you, right? And they're not moving on the scales, or they're not shifting anything at all. Is she dropping centimeters or anything, Cass, or just nothing?
Like, yeah, barely anything, maybe like 1 centimeter here and there.
Okay.
Like barely.
Barely anything. And it's 12 weeks, right? So this is
Yeah.
my take on it. And it's very Simon, it's very blunt, it's direct, it's to the point. But I'll explain why. They're either lying to you, or they're either logging incorrectly. So that they're definitely, their calories are not what they're consuming. So therefore they could be in a surplus and they're not in a deficit. Bearing in mind, how tall is this girl? Is she tall?
She's about 165 centimeters.
165. Okay. So she's not short, right? So, like, again, 103, you've got weight to lose. Her body fat's going to be above 20% for sure, well over for a girl. Like, she's got weight to lose. This is what happened to me. And it happened multiple occasions. I had people that were about 100 to 120 kilos. I had this girl 120 kilos drop down to 104. So she dropped down 15 kilos and then just plateaued. And she said to me that she was logging her food. She was doing everything. She said to me that she was eating everything. She's like, why is everything not working? Now, bearing in mind, she was on 1,500 calories, 104 kilos. That's a big deficit. Like, especially with this person coming to the gym. She was training twice a week, doing at least one other session on her own. She'd come in and do some cardio. Now, it took about 6 to 8 months of me banging my head against the wall. And this is at a stage of my career when I was like, is this quite important for me? Like, I'm gaining confidence at this time, right? I've got a client like that. I never knew this would stick for me for so long. And I use this as such a prolific example of what can happen. But here we are. I was literally going, am I shit at my job here? Am I doing something wrong? Like, because you're coaching nutrition as well, right? But all that, albeit macronutrients and calories. So you're allowed to coach that as a disclaimer. You're allowed to coach that as a PT. You don't need to be a dietitianist or a freaking nutritionist, and you don't need to provide people meal plans. Macronutrient coaching and calorie counting, if you want to call it, is for me the best form of nutritional coaching that you can provide, period. And keeping an eye on macros and micros combined with calorie targets, it's fail proof. Anyway, 6 to 8 months goes past, guys, and this girl, she says, Simon, I need to come clean. I've been eating probably 500-600 calories of chocolate every single night. So this girl, and she's like, I was like, so you just basically telling me you lied to me, basically, right? And she said, yeah. So she was binging. So she was so hungry, right? But she didn't tell me. She was so hungry. It's a huge deficit. She's massive. Because I kept doing what you're doing, Cassie. Drop the calories, right? She's not losing weight. Drop the calories. It's not sustainable for anyone to be in that form of deficit. Like, even if she is sedentary with her activity, but you see her in the gym. She trains 104 kilos. Anyone that's like a big boy, yeah, or a big girl, you need calories. You need them. Like, otherwise your metabolism is just going to completely switch off, right? And it's that simple. Well, I'm intrigued to ask Nate and Harrison here about their inputs in a second, and then Kate as well, if you want to weigh in as well. But she could be lying, right? She could be lying. And that personally is what I think it is. Or if you see her doing everything, that's like, how we don't want to be horrible here. Is she logging correctly? Is she tracking her weight? Is she weighing her food? Is she doing it right? And a lot of like clients, guys, before I leave this up to other people, and Fletcher's got something to weigh in too, like a lot of people go, do I have to weigh my food now? Yes, you fucking do. The reason why is because I need to know how much you're eating. Like anyone on MyFitnessPal, who uses MyFitnessPal for logging calories here? So most people, right? Boys, you'd like Chronometer. I'm using Chronometer at the moment. It's fucking dope as well. Like dope. I find it quicker and better. And it's got a few little tweaks in it. But anyway, MyFitnessPal. I remember on MyFitnessPal, might even just see if it's still the time here now, and then Fletch going to come to you, or if it's still here now. If you type in on MyFitnessPal, chicken breast, I remember this thing. It used to come up, and if you just type in chicken breast, right? And the top performing one was Aladdin chicken breast, is what used to come up, right? Just type in chicken breast. Okay, so it's gone now, but like they've obviously worked on this a little bit. But here's the thing. This is what it says here. So look at this for nutritional input. Chicken breast, cooked, skinless, size 1 medium. What's fucking medium? Like, to me, medium is like this big. To Harrison, this is probably extra small. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Guys and girls, medium. What is medium? How long's a piece? That's like going, how long is a piece of string? I don't know. Like, you tell me. You've got to weigh, right? That's my input. She's either logging incorrectly, not weighing her food, or lying, and she might also be this one here. I hope it's that one, Cass, because it's not really her fault. But then again, what we need to be doing, Cass, is we've got to have the systems in place to be able to coach people with content because of the scale that you're doing. You're doing 5K weeks at the moment, no leverage. That's fucking phenomenal, right? No leverage, $5,000 weeks. Like, fucking round of applause for Cass. Like, that's fucking amazing. Like, well done. You need systems to help you out, coach this shit to people. And that's what we do. We create systems. Fletch, what have you got to weigh in first?
I just have a client that I was just relating to what you said because, yeah, I have a client that she's like quite overweight, but when we started logging her food, and I never set any like targets around it. I just told her to log her food like for the first week. And she was eating like 800 calories, as that's what she chose to eat because she was trying to lose so much weight. And then, when we're sort of looking at the graphs and like when we're doing like on trainer, I was tracking the weights, it was just going down and down and down, and performance was just like failing. So I told her, like, I increased it. I almost doubled it for 1,600 to 1,800 calories for the first couple of weeks. And she's still losing weight now. And I think it's easier for her to lose weight because she's not finding that need to like binge.
Exactly. Like, calories are important. Like, and again, we all know this here, right? But like, less calories is not fucking better. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not at all. Like, for me, again, just like personal reflection, I did 1,800 calories for 6 months or 8 months, and then 1,600 for 6 or 7 months on top of that. I lost 27 kilos. I got super shredded. Like, well, I wasn't super shredded. I was very, very lean. I lost a lot of muscle mass. What I also developed was a very, very, very big sensitivity to carbohydrates or to glycogen. So what happened was, as soon as I ate carbs on the weekend, if I went out for a pizza and had a couple of pints, I literally blew up. Like, I literally was like, whoop. And then I was like, for fuck's sake, like it's all boring. Now, my coach now, who's an elite coach, his coach, the coach's company is called Beat Elite. He's like, bro, like, you just developed sensitivity to the carbs. This is what will happen with so Fletch doing the right thing is what my coach has done with me. He's doubled my calories up, and I've only gained 2 kilos. And we were saying this before we hit record, Cassie, like, you've got to try and keep an eye on that. But that's what I'm doing, and I've only gained 2 kilos. Double the calorie intake. Like, you've got to be prepared as well. So if you do up the calories, Cass, you've got to, again, Kate, forecast forward with your clients and say, look, we need to do this. We're going to reset your metabolism. Like, if I doubled your food intake and you only went up on the scales 1.5 to 2 kilos, and that's what I've done over like 4 weeks, so it's small gain. That's right. Then they know that when the scales go up, because most people see the scales go up, even me sometimes, I'm like, fuck's sake, like, scales going up. And I'm like, no, you know better than this. You know what's going on. If you don't tell them that, they'll freak out. Yeah. Harrison, what have you got to weigh in there, bro?
Bro, pretty much, if someone comes to me, they want to do fat loss, the first thing I do is work out their maintenance calories, leave them there for 1 to 2 weeks, and focus on the training purely, just to get them in a routine. Then I'll start the calorie drop. And by that point, their training is starting to improve, and they're at a more stable point to start a fat loss, and they start seeing results straight away. Instead of going, oh shit, training, this is happening, it's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
But even just staying in maintenance, I can kind of see if they are maintaining their weight or dropping weight, which kind of tells me if they've eaten more calories before they come to me or if they've eaten less. So if they're dropping weight during the maintenance phase, which kind of indicates they're eating more than what they should be. If they lose weight, they're not eating the maintenance. So it kind of gives me a good gauge. Some people, I might even keep them on their maintenance when they first come to me, just because they have been eating a bit more than their maintenance.
Yeah.
I find that's kind of a good way to gauge, and it's not overly too much pressure on them. It can be pretty hard being sore for the first time in your life and also having to eat clean.
Yeah.
Well, not eat clean, but track calories and weigh food and stuff. So
Yeah. Dude, solid advice. For me, it's probably exactly the same way that I would do it. Like, you just find maintenance first, right? Because if you increase output straight away, guys, you'll find that some people won't even need to touch their food. And ideally, I don't know about you guys, but the way in which that my coach will do it with me, but the way in which I like to have it done, the last thing you drop is the calories, right? You want to increase your output and then you drop the calories off, because your metabolism will still crank, which means you've got more to play with. If you then if you're a big guy, right, or a girl who's in shape, but you're in a cut, right? If you've then got 1,000 calories to play with to cut off, and you're dropping body fat like that, you're in a freaking mint position, because the last thing you drop is the cows. The last thing, if you can bottom out as a dude at cutting down, if I can still be on say 2,000 calories and 10% body fat, do you know, I'm happy with that. And then you start a refeed, and then you can go up again and reverse out of it, rather than what this girl may have she may have experienced it before, but everyone knows the difference between rebounds and reverse diets, right? Rebound diet is exactly what I did when I lost 27 kilos, and it's because it was done incorrectly. And then reversing out is the safe way. So yeah, that's that. Kate, you got something to weigh in, and hopefully this is all good, Cass. Cass, at the end of the day, you've been on stage recently, so you know all this shit. I think that she's either lying or not logging correctly, but it's good to get people's input. Kate? Can't hear you.
Yeah, so to get back to Cassie, I definitely think your client is lying to you, because not making any changes in 12 weeks, that's almost impossible unless there's any medical underlying condition.
Yeah.
I basically agree to everyone what has been just said by all of you, but I actually had this client. It was actually the opposite. She had a weight loss goal, but only for her holidays, which is fine. We all do that.
Yeah.
But she was actually under eating, and she was losing the weight, but she was losing the weight way too fast. I said, look, you're gonna lose muscle mass. It's not what we want. We want to lose body fat.
Yeah.
And she was actually completely under eating, that she ended up with 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. And she was not lying about it, because the scale showed she was right. So
you should be dropping at that amount of calories like she was.
Yeah.
Right?
The problem is at the beginning, she was actually, because she's from India, so she cooks at home a lot of those Indian dishes.
Yeah.
And she doesn't weigh all the ingredients by itself. She just put it all in.
Yeah.
And it's very accurate. So at the beginning, we had a lot of trouble, but then she started weighing and everything. I explained to her that we have to be accurate. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then we ended the whole, actually, I got upside down, basically. So I said, so if you want to keep losing weight and you're eating those 1,000 calories, what happens is actually a word, it's called a metabolic adaptation.
Yeah,
so those 1,200 calories actually become your maintenance.
Yeah, exactly.
To lose weight, you need to go below, which is absolutely unsustainable
Yeah.
and even can become dangerous.
Yeah.
And this is like a critical part. I got her back up, so that was good.
She'll get
But
so far and then she won't be able to drop anymore because her
the
metabolism.
problem, she was on holidays, and then she went on holidays, went on a binge, and got more weight on than before.
Yeah, exactly, because that's how it happens, right? That's exactly how it happens. So that, and
That's
again,
why I said, let's do it sustainable. We might not reach that number. She had a certain number on her mind. I said, we're not gonna reach that, but we do it sustainable. You're being mindful on your holidays. Enjoy your holidays, but being mindful. And then when you get back, you just continue. And yeah, then completely. But there, I actually realized since I started working in this job, there are actually so many people who have such a bad relationship with food. They got stuck with, to lose weight, I have to cut up all the carbohydrates. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do endless cardio. Actually, I find it very, very difficult. I like to say that I have a very good idea of nutrition, but I find it sometimes very difficult to make those people believe that that all misinformation that they read on social media, done by all those beautiful girls showing off their bodies,
yeah,
that is not the truth. And this is very hard to convince those people that what they see on social media is not true.
1,000,000% right. I
And
don't
it's
even think.
so stuck in their heads that you can't get it out. And it's actually, I had one client, I actually referred her to a psychologist because this was out of my scope of practice.
Well, there you go. Like, I swear it's one of these things. I speak about it to my mum all the time, right? And Nate, I'm gonna come to you, get your expertise in a second, bro. Like, I try and explain to my mum the importance of eating more food for like metabolic purposes to crank your metabolism up. She cannot grasp the concept. Most general population people think lose weight, eat less, right? That's it. I need to eat less. People would look at people like on this webinar, right? And go, these guys they must be eating fuck all food to be that lean, right? I
said to my client, I eat 2,600 calories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a calorie surplus. It's not my maintenance.
Yeah.
But that also means I will be able, when I start cutting, I will be able on dieting on 2,100 calories.
There you go.
I don't need to starve myself.
Right. And I think the game that we all play as coaches is that there's no time restraint here, right? So we play around with calories and do everything with our nutrition constantly. So like these guys say, this is why, again, like side note, I don't want to ramble on, but like I had a client come to me last week and say, can I do an 8-week challenge with my clients? Or the gym wants to do one. This is someone who's fully booked. She got fully booked over Christmas quickly in 4 weeks, 0 to 6 figures, doing 2.5K per week now from scratch in 4 weeks. I just said, like, look, you don't need to do it, but also it's not like challenges are challenging, and general populations think if I can go and do things quickly, it'll be better because I get my result fast. But anything you do super, super quick does not have longevity to it, and you'll just go the other way, whereas all of us implement consistently. Nate, what have you got to add in, my man?
Man, a lot. I think you guys are going down the route of trying to explain things to them, which is actually enabling them and letting them off the hook. They're lying. They're lying until proven otherwise. And
Exactly right.
And the psychology of people who are overweight, this girl's 165 centimeters, 104 kilos. She's not eating what you've given her. It's that simple. You can give any woman, man, person in that circumstance a 1,600 calorie diet straight off the bat without even calculating their macros, and they should lose over a kilo, if not 2 kilos in their first week. And it shouldn't
100%.
stay that way. Like if they're following stuff for the first 28 days, they'll lose 4 or 5 kilos. There's no, it's not rocket science. There's no gray area to it. She's just not doing it. But the psychology of people who are overweight is very deep, very complicated, and has existed for a very long time. They are lying to themselves before they lie to you, and they don't know that. They don't know that about themselves just yet. So you can't let them off the hook, but you can't also point a finger at them at the same time. The energy that you come at them with is, even if you don't say these words, is, okay, we know you're not following process, so let's get you following process. Don't go down the metabolism road because it's just going to enable them to keep lying to themselves. How you structure your macros can help by showing them exactly how much carbs, how much protein they can have, how much food they can have if they control their fat calories, which is where most of the excess is coming from anyway.
Very
And if
true.
you do that, they'll never go hungry because oil just isn't filling. So that's the only input from nutrition that I would actually advise. But apart from that, it's maintained. It's not capitulating and letting them off the hook.
I think that probably there is the best advice out of everyone's, to be honest with you. And Nate, I think it does it not taken away from anyone else's, but Nate's got straight to the point. Like I say I'm blunt. Nate's like me. He's blunt. He's just going, they're lying, right? And they are. So they're either logging incorrectly and they don't know that they're lying, or they're fucking blatantly lying, right? And it's that simple, right? So that is where it's at, Cass. And I think Nate expertly said, these guys, they're lying to themselves before they lie to you. But the reason why they're lying is deep buried in here, right? So you've got to tread carefully. Like, a lot of people have such bad relationships with food. A lot of people have such bad, dark pasts that completely take food off the table, right? That enable them to find comfort within food, right? There's a lot of trauma. Like, fuck, man. That's why I brought a life coach into the program. I brought it, well, not a life coach, a mindset coach. I brought a mindset coach into the program because there are some clients that occasionally pop up that I can't, and it's not within my jurisdiction to, even though I am kind of a relationship counselor, marriage counselor, psychiatrist, as well as a business coach, because I have to be, it's not my fucking, like, it's, without being too blunt, it's not my job. And honestly, my mental health, dealing with 100+ other people's mental health, is fucked. Like, it screws my mental health. So like as you can, so Nate is so right. These guys, they need to take, like, this is a Nate and Simon based answer, right? They need to take a very deep look inside within themselves and ask themselves, like, am I prepared to confront my emotion? Am I prepared to confront my history, my dark side, my past, my relationship with food, the fact that I have been lying? Like, am I prepared to come to the light, basically? Would you say that, Nate? Am I prepared to come to the light, basically?
Yeah, and readiness is huge, right? So it's like the more time they could spend with you is better in that regard, and just making sure that you don't target or trigger or point fingers or allow them to experience like guilt, shame, frustration any more than they already do. But yeah, like little baby steps can happen as well. So it may be that you give them your plan, you give them your portion guide, you give them macro straight off the bat, but you just say, we're just going to do this one thing and master that and make it fucking stupidly simple. They've got a balance of losses and wins that are not in their favor as far as the nervous system is concerned. So we need to start engineering little wins. Also, if you can do this well, treat them how to teach them the implications of managing shame, not at the deep stuff, but just shame towards not being on process. Teach them how to manage their expectations, keep the expectations low hurdle stuff. You just, again, baby steps, trying to build their confidence up in the same process. So it's not like we're attacking them for life. You're just not enabling it.
100%. Setting baby steps is great. So I said before about Kate, about forecasting forward with your clients. The smaller the steps, the better. It's also great for retention and longevity of clients, because if you're breaking things down into baby steps, which need to be done, like, steps need to be small sized in order for you to be able to expect them to take the step. You're not going to put fucking, Giant's Causeway steps. Is that a place in England? It might be Samir. I don't know why that's come into my head.
Northern Ireland.
Huh?
Northern Ireland.
It's Northern Ireland. There you go. I knew it was somewhere. So, like, you're not going to put these monumental steps. Like, this is why a lot of people with their coaching approach will determine how successful they are as a coach, because they'll go, right, I'm going to, like, half your calories or double your calories, when this person, you don't know what's going on inside here, right? Like, that could be, and with no customizable approach at all, can be hard. Cassie, feedback. I know that's obviously, I knew it was going to be a good detailed topic. What's your takeaways from that? Because again, Cassie, you don't need coaching in terms of obviously macronutrients. You just you just won state titles yourself. So
Yeah.
where does that leave you thinking?
So I'm still confused to what I do with calories now. Like, because I sat her in 1,800 calories for 4 weeks out of maintenance, and it didn't do anything. So I dropped her to put her in a deficit. Still didn't do anything. So, but yes, she might be lying. I truly don't think she was. She was sitting in my office crying to me, and I felt terrible. But yeah, there could be some deep down underlying issues. So do I leave her at 1,450 calories and really try and push her to maybe open up a little bit more and see if there is anything going on, or do I bump her back up to 1,800 calories and get her back into a maintenance again and try again? Like, I just don't, with her nutrition, like if she's 100% sticking to it, I don't really know what to do with her nutrition from here. I don't really want to leave her in a 1,400 calorie deficit.
Have you addressed the logging correctly part with her?
Yeah.
So she's logging like uncooked weight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I was gonna say, Harrison, what would you do? Nate's typing here as well. Like, what would you boys do in this situation?
So the question for you, Cassie, what's her relationship with training like? Is she enjoying training?
Yeah, she loves training. She trains with me twice a week. She's always increasing her weight. She does 3 gym sessions on her own. And then she hits 10,000 steps a day as well. From literally doing nothing, from never stepping foot in the gym, never exercising, no sport, office job. So even just that increase in exercise itself, I would have thought she would have dropped, even without even looking into her food.
Is she definitely exercising? Like, is she definitely going in like for 3 days a week and hitting the 10,000 steps?
Yeah. I see. I look at her, like I watch her app, and then I also see her in the gym.
And her training intensity is pretty decent as well.
Yeah, I can't complain with the training intensity. We're always increasing weight each session,
like,
and her form is immaculate. So
does she look overweight?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, she does.
interesting. There's something that's not right there.
Yeah, I just don't know where I don't want to keep her in a 1,400 calorie deficit, but I've already tried keeping her in her maintenance and then just slowly dropping her, and that still didn't work. So I was like, do I keep her in a 1,400 or do I bump her back up and even try maybe a higher maintenance, see if like 2,000 and work back from there?
Could even be hormones as well, playing in with the whole system. I think Nathan just said get check bloods. That would be decent as well.
Yeah, I'd say get her bloods done. Cass, when's the last time she got her bloods done?
I actually don't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Guys, with respect, I wouldn't go down the hormone or the bloods level. It's really just a behavioral thing. Hormones come in response to what you eat and not beforehand. That's why a lot of overweight women will develop PCOS. They didn't develop being overweight by having PCOS. Sorry. So realistically, like, you don't get to 104 kilos by accident. She overeats.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, like, just listening, fly on the wall, Nate's 100% right here. Like, but also Nathan and the blood work stuff, like, I did that with my coach, but there's no bullshit with me and my coach. I don't, like, do you know what I mean? You can play the blood work card. You could play the blood work card to get peace of fucking mind, knowing that she's lying to you, basically, because her bloods will be okay. Her cholesterol might be high. She might have like a little bit high and low here, but Nate's 100% right. I'm not kissing his ass. Like, she's just lying straight up, pretty much. So you've got to tread carefully, and you've got to coach carefully around how to get it done. In this instance, so like, what do you do from here? So I personally would sit, and this is when I say the power of a personal training session comes in. I always recommend people at Leverage, if you've got trainers working with you and you have a client that's working with your Leverage trainers, and those guys fill in their PT session logs, and the client who is in the 100+ kg bracket with weight to lose, right? Because there's boys here that are 100 kgs with not much weight to lose, right? So if they're fat or overweight or obese and 100 kgs plus, 200 pounds plus, then you stop physical training sessions if they're not dropping weight within 2 weeks. Stop. Because as soon as you continue physically training them, you're doing your business a disservice and your credibility is going to start taking a hit. And it's that simple. So what you do is have a personal training session with them, sit down, and this is where the tears come out. This is where the deep level stuff comes out, and it's that simple. What do you want? Okay, we'll move out of the way. Let Daddy work, please. Wanna come do your shoes, Bob? So that's what I would do. I would go, yeah, you have a personal training session and start getting to that deep buried stuff, I think is what I would do. Feel free, guys, chuck in the chat what you recommend Cass should do. So we've got some stuff in here as well. So obviously you've got the blood work stuff, but again, I don't really think there's I don't really think that there's a problem with that. So Nate's saying 16 to 1800 calories max. Start asking for proof and discussing and checking accuracy. Again, I'd like check it. Like food logging accuracy is huge, guys. It's massive because most people go, "Oh, do I have to log my food and be one of those people now, or do you want to stay fat?" The answer is yes. Like I need to see stuff, right? So get them to take photos. Is there a feature for taking photos of meals? Not as far as I'm aware in MyFitnessPal, no. And I know that in Chronometer there isn't. And yeah, so like obviously bloods, you can use that. Like you can use the bloods as something to do, but all it's going to do, Cassie, is give you peace of mind knowing that she's lying. There's nothing wrong. Like there's like if her thyroid, for example, I mean, a lot of people check bloods for thyroid problems. That's like a last resort, guys. Yeah. Has anyone, Nate, have you ever had anyone who's got bloods done, bro, and you've noticed that their thyroid's out of whack, and that's the reason why they can't lose weight? Have you actually had anyone like that?
So look, I suppose I should preface by saying before I went to the PT mode that I am now, I studied like a lot of advanced nutrition and physiology and hormone work. So I started in thyroid and PCOS and diabetes, and my background's in health science and all that sort of shit. So what I came down to is it's as simple as the weight is causing the issues, the diabetes and the thyroid issues, and not the other way around. So food and getting your eating under control will reverse any thyroid conditions and vice versa. Now, I've got a lot of people who have given themselves thyroid issues and they take the medication, hope that that's going to fix them, and it doesn't. As soon as they get their weight and their eating under control temporarily, they don't need the medication anymore.
Yeah.
But then they go back to normal. So even if it does come up with thyroid issues, that's just a snapshot in time of how their system's working right now. And if you get them with lots of protein, healthy carbs, lots of minerals, and get the fat down, then all of their thyroid symptoms go away. What I was typing into the chat is if you guys want a bit of a demo on a portion guide and how to, I guess, train them to do that and filter their own foods through that so you can lower the fat calorie content per meal, okay, to drop weight in that regard, while also keeping it working with their current eating habits, I can screen share and show you guys just a bit of a snapshot about how that works. Yeah,
go for it, bro. Like, I'm going to. I've allowed screen sharing if you wanna go for that.
Yeah, go for it, man. Let me just pull up Canva. I'm on my phone, so it might be a bit slow.
Yeah, take your time, bro.
All right. Now I've never screen shared on Zoom chat before, so tell me if you can actually see my screen right now.
Not yeah. You're just gonna have to share your screen. So go back into the meeting. And then at the bottom, there should be an option. I don't know how it views on your phone, but it will say share screen and it should just then share automatically. But I've never tried doing that on a phone.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Not responsible for what anybody does or doesn't see. All right. So I've basically done this a long time ago for like 14 calories up to 4,000 calories.
Yeah.
And put in the ideal amount of protein I want a person on that calorie having, the ideal amount of carbs, and the ideal amount of fat. Fat generally standardized to about 60 grams per person. Nobody needs more than that. Depending, guys might be a different story if they're bulking, because like you don't want less than 20% of the fat calories for testosterone reasons, but 60 grams of fat standardized, and these are your serving sizes. So if you make a stir fry, for example, someone makes a stir fry every day, cool. Go with a habit that they already have existing. So you pick that much protein, that much rice, cook it in that much oil, or the oil spray. And just by doing that with the oil, you've saved about 300 to 500 calories per meal.
Yeah.
And this is a tracking and application issue. It's not going to work for anyone who says they're doing everything right and then going to Mac's and have Autos on the way home every day and lying about it. But like, if you can do this, you can free up 300 to 500 grams of calories from fats. Protein and carb are stored in the body, so they're not going to contribute to fat gain. It's pretty much the excess fats that are doing the damage. And then fill yourself up with vegetables. If you can get them to do that, it's high protein, high vegetable, high fiber, high carb. They're happy and satiated. They're not getting cortisol and adrenaline rushes and binge eating because of the lack of carbs. For anyone who cuts carbs out of their diets, don't. But like by controlling the fat content to a meal, they're sorted. This is just a little bit of an extra too, so you can actually have more foods that they want. So instead of giving them 1,800, give them 1,400 and say, here's 400 calories, go have fun, play with some ice cream, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if you can create a daily meal plan or weekly meal plan based on that kind of calorie or portion guide, and just say, okay, you've told me you eat these foods on a daily basis, here are your portions, just cook it like this for the week. Do it for 1 week only, and then do whatever you want for the rest of your life. If they don't drop a kilo in that 1 week, I will eat my own ass.
Yeah, 100%, brother. You can hit stop share at the bottom there. There you go, brother. Thanks for sharing that. Like that's spot on. You can't really argue with it, guys. To be honest with you, thanks Nate for weighing in, bro, and providing education to the community. It's one of them. I think Cassie must have had a session because I think she's had to go. But yeah, she has a client, so. It's one of these guys, as we begin to wrap this one up here, just recognize that most of the time, and again, Nate, thank you, bro. Thank you. I really do appreciate the weigh in there, bro. And Harrison as well, Kate's weigh-ins, Fletch, like everybody. Just recognize that, and it makes me feel good as well, knowing that when I have been blunt for years, saying, like, just be careful when people fucking lie to you. People will lie. And they will lie to you, and they are lying to themselves first, like Nate said. But the reasons as to why is not your fault. However, they will take their frustration out, unfortunately, on the coach that they're paying, because they're looking secretly for the coach that they're paying to get to their pain, right? It's your job as the coach to bring them to the pain and like say, look, we're going to attack this. We're going to do this. If we're not seeing 1.5 kilos in 2 weeks, blah, 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 then we know something's wrong. Then it might be Nate has a sit down with his client, and then they start, the tears come out, and then they start pouring out all the emotion. And that's when, you know, you get them to go see the psychologist, right? Or you go get them to see someone else. And this is why for us with business owners, we've got the mindset coach there, because I'm not dealing with it anymore. I know it's people have their own stuff that they have to, if they don't want to speak to me about, speak to someone else about it. And if you don't speak to someone else about it, well, you can continue to be with those thoughts yourself, and it will suffocate your growth. And it's that simple. I think there, again, beginning to summarize, guys, it is healthy to speak out about anything in your life. Tell your clients as well to be as open and transparent with you as possible. And therefore, they will get their results. Because if they're hiding stuff that's going to suffocate them, then yeah, they're not getting anywhere. So thanks everyone for weighing in. Is there any other questions that anybody has or would like to discuss? Really, really good Q&A today. Savannah, great to speak to you, or great to see you as well. Let's speak soon. Give me a message. It's good to see you back. Let's see you on these webinars more often. Nate, my man, thank you for weighing in heavily with your nutritional stuff. Same with Harrison, same with Kate. Samia, always good to see you. Fletch as well. Thanks for chipping in as always. Tanya, good to see you at the end, darling, in your work office. And Nathan Tingay, the new Pinnacle coach on the team. Nath and Tarkin have become Pinnacle trainers, or Pinnacle coaches, guys. So a big round of applause for Nathan with his coaching position at Pinnacle. We will be introducing them into the program officially this week, and they will be taking webinars as of next week. But just stay tuned for updates, guys. With that being said, peace and love. Anyone needs anything, just message me on school. You know where to find me, and I'll speak to you soon.